Alright, hi y'all. This is Dave, K7NYY in Cedar Park, Texas. I just got off of CalNet, and some gentlemen were asking for some details about the Manpack that I created for my Yaesu FT8900R mobile rig. So this is the pack. Total weight is 17 pounds, which is minimal to carry. It goes in and out of my truck in a snap. I'll show you how in a little bit. Let's start with the pouch in the back where I easily fit my my HT, my handheld radio. It's an old ICOM quad band, which is awesome radio. It's a T81A. So that goes in the back pocket with its charger very easily. In the other back pocket, I easily fit I guess it's a 15-foot coax antenna cable for an external antenna if I need one. This pocket is not currently being used. I store manuals and other flat literature inside that pocket. Also, under dire circumstances, when absolutely needed, I can still fit my very large laptop in the protected laptop case that came, that was built into this laptop backpack. So here's the meat of the Manpack. It's a PVC frame that I constructed myself. Before I glued it together, I measured it and tested it so that I knew that it would fit properly and would function the way I wanted it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll pull it out so you can see it, and then I'll put it back in. So here's the PVC frame with the radio mounted on it, and I'll go over every piece here. So probably let's start at the beginning. This is a 5 or 6 foot 12 gauge power cord that I put together myself. It has a Molex T connector that's identical to the one that the radio came with. I'll show you that in a second. That connects directly to my car battery. I have a cable running under the dashboard through the firewall directly to the battery. That cable has double fuses on it so that no surges will damage the radio. I'll show you additionally there's a fuse protecting the radio on board this pack. So that power cable connects to 2 bolts in the main board that act as my power bus, if you will. I have a 12 volt 7 amp hour battery that I purchased approximately $40 at Batteries Plus. It is zip stripped in place. It never shifts. It's just fine, just like that. Also, that is connected in parallel. Everything here is connected in parallel directly to the car battery, so that when I am running my vehicle, this battery is charging just like the battery in the truck is charging. And again, there are fuses between this entire system and the car's electrical system. So I understand that's a huge worry. You need fuses in between this pack frame, in between this battery and the car system. You should have fuses there to protect this from any sudden surges that might cause it to crack or explode. Also, there are fuses. There's one fuse here on the positive DC power into the radio that protects the radio additionally. This is the exact power cord that came with the radio. I haven't modified it at all. I've put an L connector, a UHF L connection on the antenna port of the radio. I have got the data cable for the radio permanently connected to the back of the radio, and it's strapped here with Velcro to the frame for when I need it. The same goes for my audio output cable. It is connected here by Velcro. It should be connected right here like this. I didn't do that. I'm not sure why. And the same goes for the faceplate of my radio. I've given myself about 6 feet of cord for when I sit at home and the faceplate comes off. I haven't bothered even to mount it on the frame because it mounts in my truck on a Lido mount next to my seat, and there's no reason I need a mount on the frame. If I wanted to put it away permanently, I could simply put it back onto the radio. And the radio is mounted using its bracket that it came with, bolted to a nylon, what was a nylon cutting board is now my overall chassis for the radio. Well, I measured all these things and estimated what the length should be, and then I put it all together. I did some cutting here, put it all together, and the PVC is such that it stays in place for weeks at a time, and it's very hard to pull apart. So I used it for a week or two before I made final glue joints, and I tested to see how well it was dimensioned. When I was happy with the dimensions, I cut it down severely and tested it again, and then I glued it all together. And it slides nice and neatly into my backpack here, and it all works great. If you have any questions, I used the irrigation category of PVC tubing here, and the reason I did that is because I'm not sure, but I suspect it is slightly less rigid than the white PVC that's used for plumbing. And the reason I chose that was hopefully that would dampen any shocks to the radio and not transmit the shocks to the radio if, for example, it were dropped or there were a car accident. One concern that people might have with a Manpack like this, there's a few concerns. I've already gone over the fusing situation. The other concern would be the temperature of the radio. Now, this is Texas. It gets pretty hot here, but and the radio gets warm just as you would expect when you transmit. When you transmit 50 watts, you are producing 50 watts inside the radio. The entire shell of the radio is a heat sink. It has a fan on the back that comes on immediately when I transmit. So it stays very cool under normal use. However, this radio has a feature that's called crossband repeat. When you are crossband repeating, there are two transmitters here. If I transmit from my handheld to this radio, it's receiving on one side, and it is transmitting what I'm saying to the repeater on the other side. When someone talks back to me, it's receiving on this side, and it is transmitting back to my handheld on this side. So you've at least doubled the duty cycle of the radio, and you'll double the amount of heat, at least doubled the amount of heat that's going to be produced by this radio. And you're not fully in control of that, because even though you don't talk back to the repeater, you might stop transmitting, but when that repeater is talking to this radio, it is transmitting, and that's beyond your control. So this radio might, while you leave it in your car in crossband repeat mode, you have no control over the duty cycle, and it might be constantly transmitting. It might heat up very much. Now, I've tested that, and it hasn't been a problem, but it's just something that I can't guarantee you it won't overheat, and I can't guarantee you that it's completely safe. But I've tested it and I'm satisfied that even here in Texas, I'm okay with that. It has never even come close to being an issue. Yes, it gets hot. Yes, it gets warm to the touch. I've never felt it get so hot that I couldn't, leave my hand on it. And I'm kind of not sure, but I'm kind of hoping that the radio would shut down before it would get to a point where it would cause any damage. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out to y'all when you're thinking about making a pack like this. I don't feel that you need an extra fan involved, but it is something you might consider. So good luck.